Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very interesting episode for you guys. You want to stick around for it, so make sure you're going to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, in my personal opinion, Charles Barkley is by far the best sports analyst out there. I don't think that there's anyone, if I'm being honest, that really comes close to him. Right? You can run the gambit, you can think on everybody, but to me, I think he's at the top of the business, right? And most people, I mean, most of the guys, the big boys in, excuse me, sports media, they'll openly admit that, right? That Charles Barkley is the best. And I think the single thing that makes Charles Barkley the best at what he does is that he doesn't really seem to have a horse in the race. And what do I mean by that? It seems that with everyone in sports media, everyone, including me, you can point to them and say, you know what, that's that guy's rooting interest. So there may be a possibility that that guy is being biased against another person. For example, Skip Bayless, we know he's a Jordan fan, right? So some people can say, well, he's a Jordan fan, so therefore he hates on LeBron. Shannon Sharp is a LeBron fan and vice versa. I'm a Kawhi fan and Kobe fan, so people can say that about me. Nick Wright is a LeBron fan and so on and so. You can even think of JX My High Roller, who makes excellent content. I think he's a LeBron fan, right? So you can say, well, maybe he's being preferential to LeBron. But in the case of Charles Barkley, there's no one really we can point to and say that's his guy. So therefore, he's given him preferential treatment. And I think that's one of the things that allows him to do his job at a high level, is because that he can tell it like it is about every single player in every single situation without people feeling as if he has a particular rooting interest. And is one of the reasons I believe that the Live Golf League is after him. Now, I want you guys to take a listen to the potential dollar amount that Charles Barkley could be making if he does decide, in fact, to leave TNT and go work with these guys, and how this could hurt a lot of current NBA players' feelings who believe that, you know, they're above reproach. But before we get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So now I want you guys to take a listen to Charles Barkley on the Dan Patrick Show, basically explaining the whole live situation. So take a listen to that and we'll come back.
$150 million to play golf 15 times a year. I have no problem with those guys taking that money. And if they offer me something crazy, I'm going to take it too.
What's crazy?
Well, consider how much money I make now. It would take a really huge number for me to give up my life right now. I mean, I'm not going to give up my life for... I don't like talking about how much money I
make. Okay, so let's say you make $20 million total. Endorsements and TNT.
That's fair.
That's fair. I might be a little high on that. Let's say...
Well, just for the record, you're not. Okay, let's get that out the way.
Okay. All right, so I'm in the ballpark. Right?
Yeah, you number one, you sitting on the front row, brother.
Okay, all right. So let's say they come back and they go, we're going to triple it.
and let me tell you, well, next time, if they triple it, and next time I'm on your show,
yeah,
the first question better be, Charles, what are we celebrating at tonight? That should be your first question. That should be your first question if they triple what I'm making now. Your first question should be, hey, Charles, where's the party tonight? And then you can ask me a second question after that.
Okay, but you're more valuable than some of these golfers who are getting. I think you're the most underpaid analyst in sports. You're already generating publicity for the Live Tour, and you're not even on the Live Tour. And so you're more valuable than Bryson DeChambeau or Patrick Reed, Dustin Johnson. I mean, that's where if it's not $60 million, then what are you doing? I mean, you're worth that.
I said, Dan, I'm just sitting back waiting. I'm just sitting back waiting. They haven't offered me anything. I
can't believe they haven't made you an offer. If Greg Norman sat down to dinner with you in Atlanta at that Italian restaurant.
Dan, if he made me an offer, I would have made a decision by now.
Well, he might have made an offer and you go, nope, you're going to have to do better than 50.
Well, I'm saying, I'm not in a rush. I got a job.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So you heard what Charles had to say on the Dan Patrick Show, right? Now, here's what I love about this. Here's what I absolutely love about this entire situation. I've noticed that one of the ways NBA players today try to deflect criticism and skirt blame from older players like Charles Barkley is by saying, you're just jealous that we're making more money now in the NBA than when you guys were making money. For example, I give you guys an example of a person who said that a lot, Draymond Green. When Charles Barkley was making those triple single jokes, which is, I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, come on. Who else gets, come on. Like, who would say something like a triple single or calling AD Anthony street clothes? Like, who says stuff like that? You know, I heard Draymond Green say that, you know, these guys are just mad that, you know, we're making more money than them now, and you should keep your job because I can come. So a lot of these guys, I get the sense they feel like they're above being criticized by older players, and they feel like every time an older player says something about them is just because they're simply jealous that they're making more money than them in today's NBA than when those guys were actually making money. But in this particular in this particular scenario, if Charles Barkley gets offered $60 million a year, Charles Barkley will be making more money than any active NBA player is making on their salaries, and probably including their endorsements. The only guy I can think earning, above $60 million is most likely LeBron James, because LeBron makes the bulk of his money on endorsement deals. So it would mean that Charles Barkley could be one of the highest paid athletes in the world. He'd be up there with LeBron, Ronaldo, Michael Jordan, and these guys. But the only difference is he just talks about sports. Right. And I think that if you were to get that deal, which would be beautiful for him, I think then it would be like a gut check for a lot of these guys, because what are you going to say now? He's hated on you because in this case, he'll be making way more money than most of these guys. Right. And then in that case, what are you going to say now? And I think it's quite unfortunate that a lot of people that make money seem to try to hide behind their money. A lot of people feel like because they make a lot of money, they don't have any issues. They don't have anything they need to work on, maybe with some of the, interpersonal skills, maybe work on some of their, emotional intelligence, the way they deal with people. They just feel like you can't talk about me because I make more money than you, right? What are you talking about? I make more money than you. So what makes you feel like you even have a right to even have a say? This is what some people think, right? There are people out there that really live by that code. Like, I'm richer than you, so who are you to say something to me? Like, who are you? Who are you, right? A lot of people feel that way, right? They feel like somehow money makes them better than other people. And you can tell by a lot of the comments that these guys make when guys talk about them. So in this particular scenario, I just think it would be just so ironic. I mean, the irony at all, and the person that'll be the one that makes more money than all these guys is Charles Barkley, of all people, who does not give a damn about telling it like it is. To me, I think it's crazy. I think it's the wrong way to think. I mean, it's just madness. It's like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar having a criticism or having something critical to say about Joel Embiid, and then Joel Embiid turns around and says the only reason he's saying that he shouldn't be talking is because I make more money than him. Like, that's crazy. That's cuckoo talk, right? It's cuckoo talk. But in the case for, if you think about the Draymond Green, saying that about Charles Barkley is like a 10, 20 times better player than Draymond Green. But because Draymond feels like he makes more money than him, he feels like he can talk to Charles in some type of way, which is crazy. But for some reason, that's the world. That's how the world works, man. And all I can say is money, money, money. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.